And we're now shifting our focus to some other big breaking developments. After Ranbir Kapoor, in fact, was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate as far as the Mahadev betting scam is concerned, sources are now revealing to us at CNN News 18 that in fact Ranbir Kapoor is not going to be the only name that is going to come under the scanner of the ED. What sources are also telling us that many other names related to Bollywood are currently on the radar of the Central Investigation Agency. What we're also picking up is that the ED can now further interrogate these various names, whether actors or actresses. What we're also picking up is that there is an allegation of them participating in with various money transactions and programs with the accused who runs online betting businesses. So that's what the big breaking development is, that it's not just Ranbir Kapoor, he already has been summoned, but there could be other names related to Bollywood who are now currently under the scanner on the radar of the central agencies. Let's also now bring in our colleague Arunima to try and understand if we have any other names and what is the kind of money trail that the agencies are currently looking into. So Arunima, as we're breaking the details for our viewers that it's not just Ranbir Kapoor, he already has been summoned. Are there any other names that you're picking up? Also, what is this money trail that the agencies are currently looking into?
At least 14 A-listers is what ED is putting it as. We would not want to go public with their names till the time the summons actually go out. But yes, several Bollywood A-listers, as they are being referred to, are on the radar of the Enforcement Directorate. What is the charge against them? That like Ranbir Kapoor, they too were endorsing the Mahadev gaming app, and the payment that was made to them, in case of Ranbir Kapoor also, that's the allegation, that the payment that was made in return for promoting or endorsing the gaming app was in cash, or it was made in a way that was fraudulent, and the payment was quote-unquote proceeds of crime. So that's the essential case. Enforcement Directorate, and it's the same charge against the others also. There was this huge lavish wedding of one of the promoters of the Mahadev app in Dubai recently, worth 200 crores, and the charge is that all of this 200 crore was paid in cash. The wedding was in UAE, so the money was paid in dirham, and even in dirham the payment was made in cash. There was a chartered flight from Nagpur which took the family members to UAE. Even the wedding planner was paid in cash. There were two brothers who run a travel agency in Bhopal. They used some fraudulent ways to round trip the money from the gaming app to booking the tickets. They have been raided too. So the entire ED probe seems to be focused on how ill-gotten money, proceeds of crime, was being diverted to celebrities, to wedding planners, to booking tickets, chartered flights, etc. This was all money that was being laundered, and in that connection there is a non-bailable warrant already against the promoters. There could be a red corner notice against them as well, since they are not in the country. But people like Ranbir Kapoor and other celebrities are being questioned because ED's investigating team wants them to answer what was the service that they were rendering to this app, and how was the payment made.
Arunima, we'll just request you to stay on with us. We also have our other colleagues. Yesha Kotak is joining us from Mumbai. We also have our colleague Shankar Anand joining us. Yesha, coming to you first, as Arunima was just explaining to us why this is going to be seen as proceeds of crime or laundered money. Help us understand the specific role that these various actors, A-listers have, and why they become people of interest as far as the investigation is concerned.
So yes, in fact, what our ED sources have told us is the fact that some of these actors, there are in fact more than a dozen A-listers who are on the radar of ED. What has really happened is the fact that, considering we understand that there was a wedding that took place at Dubai, there were 14 such celebrities who had attended that. They are also under the radar, but these dozen A-listers, which includes Bollywood actors, Tollywood actors, as well as sports people, they are also under the radar of ED. Now here, they have been people who've been promoting this app. This app was promoted by them on various social media platforms. When we speak of these social media platforms, some of these actors who had in fact promoted them got a huge sum of money, of which Ranbir Kapoor got the highest amount. So apart from him, there are summons which are supposed to be issued to more than a dozen such actors. What happens next is that, as a part of the investigation, ED will also try to understand how did Ranbir Kapoor get this money from Mahadev app. Yes.
Yasha, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Let's also bring in Shankar Anand in the conversation. Shankar, ईडी के काफ़ी जो सूत्र हैं वो हमें बता रहे हैं कि इस केस पर उनकी नज़र काफ़ी समय से थी. हमें ये भी समझ में आ रहा है कि 4 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी अभी तक हो चुकी है. क्या हमारे पास जानकारी है कि ये 4 लोग कौन हैं और आपके जो सूत्र हैं ईडी में वो आपको क्या बता रहे हैं? Shankar, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try and re-establish that connection with Shankar Anand. But if I could take that same question to Arunima. Arunima, what ED sources are also now telling us that this investigation, their eye on this case had been on for a while. About 4 people have been arrested in Chhattisgarh. Do we have any idea who these 4 people are and what is going to be the next plan of action?
Yes, the people who have been raided, who have been searched, and property and proceeds of crime allegedly worth 400 crore already seized by the Enforcement Directorate in connection with this case. There are people who are arrested. I just gave you example of 2 brothers in Bhopal who ran a travel agency. The charge against them is that the betting money was being round-tripped and utilized to book tickets so that they could be shown as white, money in white, for which tax has been paid. So there are people in Madhya Pradesh, there are people in Chhattisgarh were part of this racket. What is this racket all about? It is that the promoters who had a company based out of UAE. They were utilizing betting money, and this is illegal money, to really launder and take the money out of the country. Money laundering is being accused. Fraudulently earning money is one of the charges. The probe is still going on, and there could be a red corner notice against the 2 brothers. There is already a non-bailable warrant against the 2 promoters, and the wedding of one of which has really set the alarm bells ringing, because like I said, it was a 200 crore worth of wedding in UAE, the payment of which was all made in cash, in dirham, and the wedding planners and others associated with the wedding, including celebrities who performed there, they're all under the scanner to get details about how they were approached, how was the payment made, if proper banking channels were used, then details of that. If proper banking channels were not used, then why did they accept money which could be proceeds of crime as well. So that is the sense of the Enforcement Directorate's case, but the net is just widening, like Yasha was reporting. Sportspersons, celebrities, influencers could all be facing the ED's heat in the next few days.
So as Arunima and Yasha both reporting that the net is only widening, many more names that could become public in days to come, many A-listers, as Yasha was pointing out. Arunima, we'll just request you to stay on with us. Yasha, I want to bring you back in the conversation. Considering the fact an official summon has already been given to Ranbir Kapoor, is there any response that's coming in from his team so far?
As far as now we speak of this response from his team, there's no response as yet. In fact, what needs to be seen is that, considering that the summon is just a day away, we'll have to see whether Ranbir actually sends a communication to the Enforcement Directorate, or he himself is present before the Enforcement Directorate to in fact adhere to the summon. Because here, when we speak of his role, it is clearly the fact that he was one of the person who was endorsing the app. Here there are several people, like Arunima also mentioned, there are several influencers as well who were advertising this. As far as when we hear from ED, is that most of these advertisements were happening on social media. So here there are names of various people who were influencing this. However, what happens right here is, considering that the amount that they would have received as a part of the advertisements is also obviously considered as proceeds of crime. Here, when we speak of the larger modus operandi in this case, there were clear links to Netherlands, UAE, Nepal, among other places. There were call centers which were set up at various locations, which were actually which were laundered. Money laundering was taking place through Hawala agents. These call centers which were set up at various locations, that includes Nepal, that also includes Netherlands. At all of these places, call centers were set up. Similarly, there were call centers which were set up in Mumbai as well as Delhi. This was how when there were common man who were being approached for Mahadev app, there was money that was being transferred through these call centers, that is panel operators in Mumbai as well as Delhi. These panel operators would then pass on the money back to Mahadev app, which was done through Hawala. Eventually, the same money that Mahadev app was earning was going in to be paid to these actors as well as influencers, sports stars, in fact also Tollywood actors. So all of this, as far as we hear from sources, from ED sources, would actually be proceeds of crime in this case. However, there is no confirmation as to what was the amount that these actors received as of now. Yes.
Yeah, that's the clarification that I wanted, that do we have a number which the agency is currently working with in terms of what was the remuneration that these actors got. But going back to Arunima also, Arunima, so far what have we heard as far as the promoters of this app is concerned?
So they're both based in UAE, that is where the headquarters of this app is, that's where the big ticket wedding took place, and that is the reason that the Enforcement Directorate suspects money laundering is happening. And like Yasha was pointing out, this is not limited to UAE alone, several other countries could also be part of the probe. Nepal are two countries which have already emerged as destinations where the crime tentacles could have spread out to, but there could be more. And these two promoters, even though their families are here in India, Ravi Uppal and Chandrakar, their families are here, based in Chhattisgarh, Bhilai, and that is where the wedding party was picked up from, then taken to Nagpur, and from Nagpur to Dubai for this wedding. A red corner notice would mean that Interpol will be alerted, and UAE as a part of Interpol would then be pressed upon to take action. So India is hoping that once the RCN is issued, the non-bailable warrant is already in place, perhaps ED would get a chance to question the duo. They would also want to see if this is limited to plain money laundering and betting, or there is another angle to it. Why I'm saying it is that in the past, betting, narcotics and terrorism have always had common linkages, and that's a threat, that's a danger that agencies would want to investigate further, and that is why this is not being seen just as any other ordinary crime, because there is a UAE angle, because there is a betting angle. This is being taken with a lot more seriousness.
Yeah, I'll just request Arunima and Yasha to stay on with us.